6 a.m. Good morning and welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Brandon T. Jones.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Tuesday morning, along with meteorologist Thomas Patrick. He's busy there in the Weather Center as always. But Thomas, it's a little bit calmer today, right?
Yeah, I'll take one of these more calm mornings because last week it was fog every single morning. This past Sunday we had that bit of snowfall, but yesterday and this morning a lot calmer weather-wise. In fact, it got clear during the overnight hours, and that allowed those temperatures to drop into the 30s and even 20s in a few spots. Not that that's unusual for November standards, but it could be a little bit frosty outside, especially if your car is parked out there like mine. I probably have to scrape the windshields yet again after my shift this morning. 29 Spokane, 28 in Coeur d'Alene, even 31 degrees in Deer Park. Cold spots in Sandpoint and Colville at 25 degrees right now. But the cloud cover is starting to move in quickly for this afternoon. Not going to stop those temperatures, thankfully. We should still hit the 40s during the afternoon today. So a fairly pleasant Tuesday for us, but we are tracking a little bit of rain tomorrow and how that will affect our travel plans across the Northwest. All coming up in a few minutes.
This morning, the University of Idaho has narrowed down where they will build a healing garden to honor the 4 University of Idaho students who were murdered last year.
Now, in a letter, University President Scott Green said that the site is tentatively planned for north of the Arboretum and east of the physical education building on campus. According to President Green, the Vandal family has raised more than $220,000 to fund the project. He also highlighted university architecture and landscaping students' dedication to create this project to honor Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves.
Meanwhile, a judge ruled there would no longer be any outside cameras in the courtroom for Brian Kohberger's trial. He is suspected of killing the 4 University of Idaho students. In a ruling posted online, the judge determined the court will instead provide a live stream of all public hearings. To be fully transparent, several media organizations, including KREM 2, asked the court to keep live video available to protect transparency in the trial. The judge said his decision will give the court more control over video taken at the trial while ensuring the public still has access to see it. The judge also reserved the right to change this decision in the future. The trial date has not been set yet. Now for an update on a suspected murder-suicide case in North Spokane. Police said a man returned home last week and found his wife, 2 children, and pets all dead. We first brought you this as breaking news Friday morning on Up with KREM. The Spokane Medical Examiner released the identities and manners of the death. The medical examiner also said that the dead included a 43-year-old woman who died of suicide. 2 girls, ages 10 and 8, were both shot and killed. Their deaths are ruled as homicide. The 2 children were formerly students at Balboa Elementary School, but they're being homeschooled at the times of their death.
It's 6:04 right now. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. The North Idaho College Board of Trustees has a new chair this morning. At the board meeting last night, former chair Greg McKenzie was voted out and trustees chose Mike Wagner to fill the position. This comes after the college faced losing their accreditation. The college's president says that the final report from their accreditor should be released sometime this week. Last night, the Spokane City Council unanimously approved an extension for a multifamily housing ordinance. This ordinance allows for more multifamily homes to be built on land that was previously zoned only for single-family homes. City Council member Michael Cathcart says that the ordinance aims to enhance affordable housing choices and to lower barriers to home ownership. The Shoshone County Sheriff's Office recovered 18 guns from the home of an alleged gang member. Deputies say the weapons were found when the Drug Task Force executed a dangerous warrant in Pinehurst. They also found a small cannon, tools to create ghost guns, along with meth and fentanyl. According to the Sheriff's Office, this is the largest gun seizure in their history. And the East Valley School District held its first community Thanksgiving dinner last night in Spokane Valley. They had enough food to serve 1,000 meals and everyone was welcome. As you can see, they had quite the turnout. Along with the meal, the school district had arts and crafts, a photo booth, and even some face painting along with music by East Valley students. This is the first year they've hosted this kind of dinner, but the district says they're hoping to serve even more people in the years to come. And Washington State just launched a new campaign to establish the state's first ever Smokey Bear license plate. State leaders say that the plate will allow people to show their support for firefighters while supporting the state's efforts to reduce wildfires. Proceeds from the special license plate sales will go to wildfire prevention and a program to support wildland firefighters. And that's a look at your morning rush.
It's 6:06 and our weather conditions this morning starting to get a bit more cloudy out there. And this is part of our next storm system that will really more so arrive tomorrow morning. But the cloud cover is already streaming all the way across Washington, but you don't see anything getting picked up by radar, not in Spokane nor in Seattle either. So a pretty weak storm system, at least for us, but by the time it passes us on Thanksgiving, then it will become a snowy storm system. But for our friends to the east in Montana, eastern Idaho, and most of Wyoming, they're under winter storm watches and winter weather advisories. So that's where the snow part is going to be for this Thanksgiving. But for us, it's going to be dry by Turkey Day on Thursday and dry through the 4-day weekend, though starting to trend a bit cooler.
Well, taking a look at your Northwest news this morning, an Olympia man is now being held without bail, accused of killing a Western Washington couple.
Yeah, detectives have still not found the remains of DeVito and Karen Kep. They also said they were reported missing over a week ago when detectives checked their home and no one was there. But the locks had been tampered with and they found blood.
Survived that amount of lost blood. There were 2 separate pools of blood. There were no bodies in the residence.
Detectives say the couple was in the process of evicting the suspect who lived on a separate property owned by the couple. He has not been formally charged and is being held without bond.
Well, Peace Health will refund more than $13 million to thousands of patients who paid more than they should have for care. An investigation by the Washington State Attorney General's office revealed the hospitals did not inform eligible patients about reduced care options through the Charity Care Act. The payout will now go to 11,000 patients who might have qualified for financial assistance. This comes as a similar case against Providence Hospitals prepares to go to trial in February.
We have now seen in now multiple situations with large hospitals across the state of Washington failing, often systematically, not to follow these very straightforward rules around providing financial assistance.
Patients who will get money back will be contacted by mail.
And researchers at Washington State University found out that people who use cannabis to fall asleep at night, they're not turning to more conventional sleep aids as often. People taking cannabis before bed is not a big surprise to those conducting this study, but they wanted a better understanding of how people believe it's helping them sleep. They analyzed the data of more than 1,200 cannabis users from 18 to 77 years old. Overall, those surveyed reported feeling better in the morning and with fewer side effects from using cannabis versus using over-the-counter prescription sleep aids.
A lot of conventional sleep aids, things like benzodiazepines, have a really high potential for addiction. There can be associated with really undesirable side effects. So it's important to understand the potential therapeutic effects of other substances like cannabis for sleep.
Researchers also found that around half of participants specifically reported using strains containing CBD and an aromatic plant compound called myrcene, which is also found in thyme, lemongrass, mangoes, and hops. Researchers hope this first of its kind study will help further guide research on cannabis and sleep.